Maria Flores, and I wanted to welcome you to your online Introduction to Anatomy and Physiology course, also known as Biology 2404. I wanted to let you know a little bit of information about me. I've been teaching anatomy and physiology courses about 20 years, and I love teaching this class. I just think it's so interesting to learn about all the parts and pieces of the body, about how they work together so well so that we can stay healthy, and then what happens when those parts don't work as well, and when we develop illness and disease. The best way to contact me is through D2L email. Now this is an online class, so I'm not going to get to see you 2 or 3 times a week on campus, but that doesn't mean that I'm not available. I am available through D2L email. That'll get you the fastest response. You can also text my cell phone if you need to reach me, and this is really good to reach me, like in case of an emergency, in case something happens, you can't make it to the test, something happens and your test doesn't work, please contact me this way. But for other class information, the best and fastest way to get a hold of me is through D2L email. But like I said, it's an online class, but I'm still here to guide you, help you, instruct you, and answer any questions that you have about the course. So please don't hesitate to contact me anytime you have a question about what you're learning in class. So what are you going to need this semester? Well, you're going to need an access code, which you can purchase at your bookstore, but on D2L, when you log in the first day to your course, you're going to see a link where you can buy the access code online, and it's cheaper that way. You're buying it directly from the book publisher, so it's going to be less expensive than if you buy it at a bookstore directly. But I think if you're a financial aid recipient, then you may have to go to the bookstore to purchase it. But you're not purchasing an actual physical book. If you want to purchase the book, you can through that same website, but you're purchasing an access code, which is going to take you to a program that you'll be using for your quizzes and some of your exams. So it is essential that you purchase that access code. If you don't have money right now, no problem. You can sign up for a 14-day free access. You'll get access to all the material, but remember, before the 14 days is up, make sure that you've purchased the full access. You really won't be able to learn things in class without having that access code, and you certainly won't be able to take your quizzes. In this class, we're not using a lab manual. We used to use a lab manual and a textbook for this class, but we've eliminated the lab manual to save money, and we're just using a textbook or an online book. You will need, though, a reliable computer with a webcam on it so you can take exams, and you will need reliable Wi-Fi. If you're in a household with a lot of people, that can be a challenge. You want a quiet room, a quiet space to take your exams, but the exams are open like a day and a half, almost 2 days, and you should be able to find a quiet time somewhere during the day, even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, if that's what your work schedule is. The test will be open then, and you'll be able to take your tests, hopefully in a quiet space in your house. But if you have a household full of people and you're all on the same Wi-Fi signal, it can be really difficult to take a test, because taking the test is going to require a really strong, consistent, reliable Wi-Fi signal. So just while you're taking the test, you might want to ask people in your family if they could log off the Wi-Fi just while you're taking the test, so that you don't run into problems. Because sometimes when your Wi-Fi signal isn't really strong, it automatically kicks you out of the test, and I don't want that to happen to anybody. This class is going to take a lot of time to study. As you read through the syllabus, you'll learn that this class is like a part-time job. You are spending time learning the material for the first time. You're spending time going over it and practicing it over and over and over, and it's going to end up spending, like I said, a part-time job. For some people, almost the time of a full-time job. That's just the nature of the class. No matter who teaches it, what college you take it at, this course takes you through every organ system in the human body. Now, it's an introductory course, so we're not going through as much detail as you would in a full-fledged anatomy and physiology course, but there's still a ton of material. And so it's a really fast-paced course, so it can be really helpful to have a calendar where everything is scheduled out. You got your study time scheduled out, you got your quiz dates and exam dates on there so you don't miss anything. So time is going to be a huge challenge for a lot of people. Be determined. If you're not doing well in class, let's talk about what's going on. Maybe there are different study strategies that might be more effective for you. Maybe you're just not getting a chance to ask questions. Let's go over your questions together. I want to make sure that you do really well in this class. But if you don't ask any questions and you're not doing well, then I don't know how to help you. So please, at any point, come to me with questions. Email me your questions. Let's get those questions addressed right away. So how do you study for a science class? Well, there's a lot involved. It's not like, let's say, another class that you might take here at Lone Star College, where the instructor is teaching you information, but it's in words that you've heard before. Like maybe you are studying the Vietnam War, and they're talking about presidents and laws that were enacted or riots that were happening. You might have some familiarity with that. Maybe you've heard about it. Maybe some of these dates are familiar to you. It's not a totally foreign language. Well, this class is based on a totally foreign language. It's not based in the English language. It's based in Greek and Latin. And so for a large part of this class, you're just going to be practicing the terminology, understanding the words that are used to describe the parts and the pieces of the human body. That's a huge extra challenge for this class. And that's part of the reason why studying for this class and doing well in this class takes so much time. So to study, the first time you see the material, you're going to be doing things like reading. I'll print some notes on D2L. Also put some videos online, and so you'll be watching those. Now, if that's all you did to study, read what I put online and watched videos, you would learn about 10% of what you need to learn for the class. Well, when it comes to tests, a 10%, that's an F. Nobody wants that. So that's an important part, but that by itself isn't enough. Just reading or watching videos on D2L isn't enough. In addition to doing that, kind of for your first introduction to the material, I need you to print out and complete documents that are on D2L. For example, I give you a vocabulary list. Define those terms and practice writing them over and over. I also give you a study guide, which is not completed, it's a bunch of questions, and then you have the information here to complete it. Practice doing that. That's where the test questions and the quiz questions are going to come from. So that's a study guide that you are building as you go through the semester. Don't wait until right before the test to complete it. Try to complete a little bit every day so you'll be more prepared for those tests. If that's all you did, in addition to working on just reading it and watching the videos, you would accomplish 20% of what you need to do in this class. Well, no one wants a 20% in a class. Again, that's an F. So in addition to that, and this is going to be a big one, you need to make your study tools. Now, what's a study tool? It's different for everybody. It might be flashcards. If you were like me when I was taking this class, I did not do well with flashcards. I would try and make these perfect artistic flashcards, and as you'll see this semester, I am no artist. And so I would spend all this time creating these flashcards and then realize, oh shoot, I have 3 days to study them because the test is this weekend. So I quickly learned that flashcards were not a good tool for me. Maybe they work for you, but some other study tools are making a concept map, and we'll talk more about those this semester. Concept maps are just putting words together in a way that helps you understand the relationships. Maybe you study best by practicing, by maybe making your own quiz questions and trying to create a small test and answering that. So a lot of different things that you can do to learn and study the material, but make your study tools. That's going to take about 10% of your time. Well, you can't do that without doing that. You can't do that without doing that first. So a lot of time is adding up here. You want to spend most of the time, about 60% of the time that you are studying for this class, just using your study tools. And when you use them once, when you use those flashcards or those concept maps once, don't stop. Even if you're thinking, well, okay, I studied this chapter and that chapter, I can check them off my list, I'm good, I'm ready for the test or ready for the quiz. Don't stop. Keep studying it over and over and over and repeating that information, or even studying it different ways than you studied it before. You get to the point where you're thinking, okay, I'm sick of chapter 1 and 2 and 3. I've been even having nightmares about it at night. I know it, I understand it. Don't stop. Keep studying. One of the great ways to study in this class, and I know it's hard because we're online, is to create a study group. At the beginning of the semester, I'm going to assign you to a study group, just a random group of students, and encourage you to meet once a week. Now, you don't have to, it's entirely up to you, but what I've seen in the past 20 years that I've been teaching this class is the students who get the A's and the B's, they're forming study groups, and they're meeting with them once a week. And I want everyone in this class to succeed. So consider getting together with a study group I assign you to right away. Put that in your calendar. Don't want to meet face-to-face? You don't have to. You can meet online in a Zoom meeting or a WebEx meeting, or even in GroupMe. You can just share chat information. But it's a great way to study because it's very easy to tell yourself, oh yeah, I'm good with chapter 12. I've got that, I understand it, I did all the quizzes, I did the study guide, I'm good on chapter 12. But studying with another group of students, they can ask you questions and maybe ask a question that you hadn't thought of. And so it's really great practice, really great study tool is to study with another group of students in the class. Make sure that you take all your quizzes. As you read the syllabus, you'll see that some of the quizzes are going to be dropped at the end of the semester. I do drop some of your small point quizzes, not tests, but quizzes. It's still important to take all of them, and it does take time, so about 5% of your time is going to be spent just taking these quizzes because there are a lot of them. But each quiz you take is an additional practice in preparing you for the exams. So I want you to have as much practice as possible. Make sure you ask questions anytime you have them. Great thing about studying with a study group is you've got a built-in support for asking and answering questions. But I'm also here. If you have questions, email me through D2L. Be happy to go over anything with you that doesn't make sense or that's confusing. Or if you can't even, if the question you have is, where do I find this material in D2L? Be happy to answer that too. Remember, it's my job to help you succeed this semester. Please don't hesitate to ask anytime you have questions. Now, I was mentioning earlier that this class is filled with terms that you've never heard before. So one way to approach this class is to think about how you would study if you were taking a class where you were trying to learn to speak Russian. Well, you probably don't know a lot of Russian words just off the top of your head. So what would you do to study another language? Well, if you think about it, you could write down vocabulary words over and over and over again. Practice saying them out loud over and over and over again. You could practice speaking Russian to other people. You could practice reading Russian or even writing Russian, and then work with other students to have them check your work, and you can check their work, and they can ask you questions and you can ask them questions. That's exactly what you need to do in this class because there's so much new terminology. And like I said, these terms that you're going to be learning, they're not rooted in the English language. They're from Greek and Latin terms. So the more you kind of consider this a foreign language class, the better mindset you'll be in when you look at a term and think, I don't know that, okay, but I can do flashcards. I can write it 20 times. I can practice explaining it to somebody else. So think about all the terminology that you're going to learn. The more you practice it, the easier it's going to be for you to learn it, understand it, and do well in those tests and quizzes. This course, all the information that you need is already posted on D2L. Now the course doesn't open up until the first day of the semester, but when you get there, you'll see all the information that you need. There's a Start Here module. Go there first and complete everything. The way to look at D2L is everything you need is on there, but I'm also here to help you understand that information, maybe to explain it in a different way, to help you find things if you're not able to find it. Now, even though all your information is on there and that this is an online class, I'm still available to help guide you through this process, to help answer any questions that you might have. I have official office hours, and those will be posted in the syllabus, but I'm available other times. I am usually online most evenings, weekends, early in the morning, so if you look at my office hours and you think, well, that doesn't work for me, I work then, or I'm taking care of my kids and I just don't have time, let's plan a different time to meet online so that we can go over any questions and concerns that you might have. So, one thing to think about is what to do if you fail a test. Now, there are a lot of tests in this class, as you'll see when you look at the syllabus. If you fail one test, that doesn't mean that you're going to fail the course, in part because there are so many tests in this class. But if you do fail a test, one thing you want to ask yourself is, why did that happen? Now, some students might say, well, because you made the test too hard. But you want to kind of change your mindset. Okay, yeah, it was a hard test, but other people studied and they did well, so what can I do differently? Or how can I kind of tweak my study strategy so that I do better the next test? If you're not sure what to do, let's sit and talk about it. Let's go over how you've been studying so far, your study strategies and techniques, and talk about maybe ways of changing that and adjusting it so that you do better on the next test, and better on the next test, and better on the next test. So just failing one test is not the sign that you're going to fail the whole course. But if you do not do well on a test, let's talk about it. Keep in mind, though it's an online class, I am here to help. It's my job to help answer things, explain things, guide you through the process. So any questions you have at any time this semester, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact me. I wanted to thank you for taking this class with me, and I look forward to getting to know everyone. Let me know what I can do to help make this a fantastic semester. Thanks for watching.